By the time history reached what could be called good part, the world was no longer living in the shadow of World War II. It was living on borrowed time from it. The war had stopped being a lived memory and had become a choice to remember or to simplify, a choice to teach or to dilute, a choice to face discomfort or to escape into convenience. This stage was more dangerous than ruble and bombs, because forgetting arrives quietly. In classrooms, World War II was reduced to timelines and dates. Students memorized battles without understanding fear. They learned numbers without hearing voices. 6 million became a statistic, instead of 6 million lives interrupted mid. The war fit neatly into exams, but not into emotions. And when memory loses emotion, it loses power. Around the world, people began to say, that could never happen again. Not because humanity had changed, but because time had passed. Distance created confidence. Confidence created carelessness. The generation that had seen the camps, the bombed cities, the starving winters was fading. With them went the urgency in their voices. Recordings replaced presence. Museums replaced witnesses. Screens replaced silence. Something vital was lost in translation. At the same time, the world grew louder, faster, more connected, yet more divided. Technology allowed ideas to travel instantly, but it did not make them wiser. Old fears found new platforms. Old lies learned modern language. Propaganda no longer needed loudspeakers. It lived in pockets. World War II had proven how powerful controlled narratives could be. The modern world proved how fast uncontrolled ones could spread. Across nations, people once again searched for certainty. Economic pressure, cultural anxiety, and political instability created familiar emotions. The desire for strong leaders returned. So did impatience with complexity. Nuance felt slow. Blame felt efficient. History watched silently. Because this was how it always began, not with tanks, but with tension. Not with violence, but with permission. Permission to divide. Permission to ignore. Permission to say, this time is different. It never is. The survivors of World War II had warned about this moment without naming it. They spoke about small steps, about how rights are not removed all at once, about how neighbors stop being neighbors before they become enemies, about how cruelty does not arrive announcing itself, it arrives justified. But warnings require listeners. In some places, memory was protected fiercely. Laws defended truth. Education confronted guilt honestly. These societies understood that remembering was not about Shemet, was about responsibility. In others, memory became selective again. The past was edited to inspire pride rather than caution. Painful chapters were softened, victims blurred. Accountability faded. The story became easier to tell and more dangerous to believe. World War II had taught that denial was not neutral. It was preparation. The war had also shown that ordinary people matter more than leaders in the long run. Systems collapse when individuals stop questioning. Atrocities require not just orders, but acceptance. Silence is not empty, it is supportive. These truths did not expire with time. Part 11 of this story exists in the present, not the past. It exists in how people speak about others. In how easily anger replaces empathy. In how quickly history is weaponized instead of understood. The legacy of World War II was never meant to freeze the world in fear. It was meant to sharpen awareness, to make humanity alert to its own patterns, to remind people that civilization is not guaranteed it is maintained. Every generation must choose to maintain it. The war's final lesson was not about survival. It was about vigilance. Vigilance against simple answers to complex problems. Vigilance against leaders who promise greatness without cost. Vigilance against narratives that divide humanity into worthy and unworthy. When memory becomes a choice, responsibility follows. World War II does not ask modern humanity to feel guilty for the past. It asks something harder. To recognize the signs before history demands another payment. The war ended once. Its warning did not. And part 11 is still being written by every decision to remember honestly, to question bravely, and to protect humanity when fear offers easier options. History has already shown what happens when that choice is ignored. Now, as always, the choice belongs to the living.